Hi and welcome to Top Not Flop. Today, we've gathered for you the best Netflix series coming out in 2022. There are different genres, from thriller to comedy, and everyone can choose to watch a series to their liking. So let's start the video. On number 10, The Woman in the House Across. 3 years ago, Anna lost her own daughter, Elizabeth, but so far the woman has not been able to get her life back on track. Her marriage to Douglas has failed. She often suffers from hallucinations and consumes huge quantities of red wine, washing away her personal failures and watching through the window of her house as a happy life passes her by. But a series of remarkable changes comes in Anna's life when a charismatic man named Neil becomes her new neighbor. The main character believes that she finally smiled on good luck, but soon she expects another shock when she witnesses a brutal murder. There is no time to think. The heroine must make a decision about her situation and her feelings for a very questionable man. On number 9, All of Us Are Dead. An unremarkable day at Hyosin School runs its course. Students attend classes and exchange the latest gossip. School bullies bully weak and uptight classmates, and teachers try to interest teenagers in knowledge. However, the situation spirals out of control when a student returns from the school laboratory infected with an unknown virus. As more and more students begin to behave aggressively and bite people, the mysterious infection spreads outside the school and affects the country. While the military interrogates the psychotic teacher who spread the virus, a group of students wage a desperate fight against the zombies. On number 8, Vikings, Valhalla. The action is set 100 years after the original series, recounting the events leading up to the end of the Viking Age. In the early 11th century, English King Ethelred II the Unwise orders a mass slaughter of the Danes, hoping to completely clear the islands of Scandinavian invaders, but only further exacerbates the relationship between the two peoples. Norwegian and Danish Vikings, led by King Nud the Great, prepare for a vengeful campaign against England, while Leif Erikson, born in Iceland, plans to travel across the North Atlantic to explore new lands. On number 7, The Lincoln Lawyer. Mickey Haller was once a successful lawyer. Any case was easy for him, and not long for it was too difficult to compete with a professional. He was approached by high-ranking officials, rich clients, famous personalities, and everyone was ready to pay a huge fee for a job well done. His life in Los Angeles was like a paradise. Everything worked out for him and everything was amazingly easy and simple for him. But one day it all came to an end, and the culprit of his misfortune was an accident that instantly crossed out his future. To restore his reputation, he takes up a difficult case where he has to find the murderer and the real murderer. On number 6, Archive 81. One day, Dan Turner, an experienced archive employee and film restorer, is hired to restore old videotapes stored in an isolated building. He discovers that the videotapes were recorded by documentary filmmaker and scholar Melody Pendrose, who was researching a deadly cult and visiting an ancient building in New York City just before it was destroyed by fire in 1994. As Dan continues to investigate the circumstances surrounding the woman's death, he suddenly becomes convinced that he may have a personal connection to Melody and her investigation. On number 5, Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. The anthology series presents 8 horror stories specially selected by Mexican director Guillermo del Toro. After acquiring the rights to an abandoned warehouse, Nick finds 3 ancient volumes on how to summon demons. Grave robber Mason, finding himself in dire financial straits, decides to dig up the grave of a recently buried aristocrat. Dr. Carl Winters performs an autopsy on several miners who have recently died, not yet realizing that an alien parasite resides in the body of one of them. A clumsy woman named Stacy desperately dreams of becoming beautiful, and one day she gets the chance to make her cherished wish come true with a popular lotion. On number 4, 1899. The series invites us to immerse ourselves in a gripping and creepy story that is sure to offer a plot that can intrigue and keep even the most skeptical viewer watching. In the fall of 1899, a comfortable steamer called the Cerberus sails off the coast of Great Britain toward New York City. On board are hundreds of passengers from all over Europe and of varying social status who want to start a new life in America. Among them is Maura Franklin, a neurologist and one of Britain's first female doctors, hiding a dark secret. En route, the Cerberus receives a distress call from her twin ship, the Prometheus, which mysteriously disappeared in the ocean 4 months ago. Against the wishes of the passengers, Captain Ike Larson responds to the call for help and goes off the route, which becomes a fateful decision. On number 3, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. The story is about Jeffrey Dahmer, the infamous American serial killer who took the lives of at least 17 people. The story spans from the 1960s to the 1990s and tells what happened from the perspective of the maniac's victims. Among other things, the series shows the unprofessionalism of the Wisconsin police, who due to racial prejudice for a long time did not consider a neatly dressed and polite white guy as a ruthless killer, which caused even more victims. The series from streaming service Netflix delves into the realities of the past in order to understand the causes, consequences, and motives of a killer who has been recognized as one of the most brutal and insane criminals of his time. On number 2, The Sandman. In an attempt to imprison Death herself to bring back her dead son, sorcerer Roderick Burgess summons the Lord of the Dream Realm, Morpheus, into the world of men. Taking his equipment from the exhausted creature, he imprisons the prisoner in a glass sphere, hoping to profit from it. Unable to fulfill the sorcerer's wishes, Morpheus is imprisoned for years, while millions of people are stricken with a mysterious sleeping sickness. Dozens of years later, he manages to free himself and return to his own dimension, where he is horrified to learn that his kingdom has fallen into disrepair over a long period of time, and many of his subjects are gone. Determined to recreate his own world, Morpheus sets out in search of lost artifacts. On number 1, Wednesday. New from Netflix about the famous Addams family that the world saw back in 1991. At the center of the plot is the somber and terse Wednesday, the eldest daughter of the eccentric Addams family, who because of their shocking antics has changed 8 schools in 5 years. After another scandalous incident, she is forced to transfer to Nevermore, the outcast academy her parents once attended. The institution is run with an iron grip by Larissa Weems, her mother Morticia's sworn enemy. Here, the girl develops her newly discovered psychic abilities and takes it upon herself to stop a monster wandering around preying on people. Write in the comments which series you like best. Thanks for watching this video and do subscribe my channel for new update.